Good morning, class 8 children.
Hello friends, my name is Aditya.
Continue, Aditya. Today we are going to take the flip teaching. So, according to your concept, kindly go ahead. So, first will be given by Aditya.
And I'm the student of the class 8A. Today I'm going to perform a short flip learning in front of you all. My topic is friction, a force that opposes motion. Objectives explain why friction occurs. List the two types of friction and give example of each type. Explain how friction can be both harmful and helpful. What is friction? It is a force that opposes motion between two surfaces that are in contact. Like this. When does friction occur? Friction occurs when two surfaces are in contact. Also, when a liquid or a gas is pushed out of the way of a moving object. Why does friction occur? Because the hills or valleys of a surface are in contact with the hills and valleys of other surface. This produces friction. Box want to move direction, but it can't. Friction is a force that moves in an opposite direction to movement. Friction depends on roughness of surfaces and force that objects are being pressed one against that other or the weights. What increase friction? Rough surface and weight of the objects. What does the amount of surface depend on? The amount of friction depends on how well the surface grip each other. Tires on a road have very high friction. They don't slip. Skate on ice have very low friction. They slip easily.
Good morning, my respected madam and all my friends. Today, I'm going to perform a flip teaching on the topic friction. So, what is what is friction and how it works? Friction is a force between two surfaces that are sliding or trying to slide across each other. Friction always works in the opposite direction of the movement of the object, which slows down the object moving. There are many and how friction works. There are many irregularities between the two surfaces that are moving. However, we can see those irregularities with normally or with our naked eyes. When those irregularities get stuck, the object stops moving.
Ma'am, can I start?
Continue.
Good morning, everyone. Today, me and my friends are going to present a short flip learning in front of you, and our topic is sound. A sound is a form of energy that produces sound. A sound is a form of energy that produces sound by vibration. We hear so different kinds of sounds, from the cackle of frogs to the barking of dogs, the noise of vehicles, etc. While speaking, we also make sound. Sound is a part of our life. It helps us to communicate with one another. Like as animals also communicate with one other members of their species by making different kinds of sounds. We hear so much sounds every day, but do we know how the sound is produced? I will tell you how the sound is produced. What happens when you plug the wire of guitars? The most obvious thing is the sound produced by the two objects. However, if you gently touch the guitar wire again immediately after plugging it, you feel that the guitar wire is vibrating. Let us do with the activity. Take a metal plate, take a, take a metal plate and strike it with the rod like this. Again, strike the plate with the rod and immediately bring it to your closer. Do you hear any sound? Yes. When the metal plate hit with the rod, it produces sounds. And in this all activity, you will notice that an object produces sounds when it is vibrating. And when the object stops vibrating, the sound also stops.
Now let us talk about sound produced by human. Now let's talk definition. First is voice box. Voice box is a type of larynx, the area at the top, of your throat that contains the muscles that move to produce the voice is known as voice box. Second is windpipe. The tube that take air from your throat to the lung is known as windpipe. Now I will explain you sound produces by human. In human, the sound is produced by the voice box or the larynx. Put your fingers on your throat and find a hard bump that seems to move when you swallow. This part of the body is known as the voice box. It is at the upper end of the windpipe. Two vocal cords are stretched across the voice box or larynx in such a way that it leaves a narrow slide between them. When the lungs force air through the slide, the vocal cords vibrate and produce sound. That when they are loose and thick. Now let us see by the activity of Jal Tarang. You have to take a bowl, 6 or 8. You have to pour some water in it. Now you have to take a pencil or a spoon. Now you have to strike on them. You will see the different sound. You have heard the pleasant sound. This is your Jal Tarang.
Now let us understand that sound need a medium for propagation. Sound need a material to travel or to be heard because the molecule of these material can carry out from one place to another. We need air to hear. Yes, the place where there is no air or air is removed is called vacuum. And in vacuum or in empty space, sound cannot be traveled as vacuum has no molecule to strike or to vibrate. Now let us understand this by an activity. First, take a glass tumbler, make sure it is dry. Now place your cell phone in it and ring the phone.
Maruni, unmute yourself. Unmute, Maruni.
Ma'am, can I start?
Yes, continue. You have put the mobile phone in the glass.
Yes,
After
ma'am.
that,
Yes,
continue.
ma'am. Listen the ring carefully. Now surround the rim of tumbler with your hands and put your mouth on it, on inside the tumbler. Now I remove the tumbler and you're able to listen the ring. This is proof that sound need that to prove that we need air to hear the sounds. Sound can travel to solid, liquid, and gas. Let's understand this by an activity. First, you take a bucket or a bathtub. Fill it with a clean water. Take a small bell on the other hand, shake the bell inside the water to produce sound. Make sure that the bell does not touch the body of the tub. now, now place your
Now place your ear on the surface. Can you hear the sound? Does it indicate that sound travel through liquid also? Yes. This is indicate that sound can travel through liquid or water also.
Now let us talk about human ear.
There are three parts of human ear. Outer ear. It has a canal at the end of which is stretched membrane called eardrum. The sound waves pass through ear canal and eardrum to vibrate.
Second, middle ear. Second, middle ear. It has a set of three bones are linked together and attached to the eardrum. These bones receive vibration for eardrum, passes on the inner ear.
Third is inner ear. The inner ear receives all the vibrations from middle ear and changes them into nerve impulses. These nerve impulses are carried out by the auditory nerves to the brain. These brain interrupts impulses. This is how we can hear. Second is vibration. Vibration is the to and fro motion of an object. This is also called the oscillatory motion. You can see the motion of a simple pendulum here. Next is time period. Time period means that the time taken by a vibrating body to complete one oscillation is called the time period. The formula of time period is equal to 1 by frequency. Now let's discuss with an example. The sound from a mosquito is produced when it vibrates. It swings at an average rate of 400 vibrations per second. Find the time period of the vibration. So total vibration are 400 here and time taken is 1 second. So time taken to complete one vibration is 1 by 400. Now we divide 400 by 1. Now we divide 400 by 1. Then the time period will be 0.0025 seconds. Next is frequency. The number of oscillation completed by a vibrating body in 1 second is called the frequency. The formula of frequency is equal to 1 by time period. Now let's discuss with an example. A pendulum oscillates 40 times in 4 seconds. Find its time period and frequency. So number of oscillations are 40 times and total time is 4 seconds. Now we have to find out the time taken. So 0.1 second is the time taken. Now we have to find frequency. We have to apply formula that is 1 by time period. 1 by 0.1 is equal to 10 hertz. Next is unit of frequency. The unit of frequency is hertz. It is also denoted by Hz. A human ear can hear 20 to 20,000 hertz. If a vibrating body makes 20 oscillation in a second, we say that its frequency is 20 hertz. Next is difference between infrasonic and ultrasonic. Infrasonic are these which include the sound of frequency below 20 hertz. These sounds are produced by object vibrating very slowly. Infrasonic waves are from 10 hertz to 18 hertz. Sources are elephant, volcanoes, earthquake, etc. Ultrasonic are these which include the frequency of sound above 20 hertz. These sounds are produced by objects vibrating very rapidly. Ultrasonic waves are from 30,000 to 50,000. Sources are bats, pandas, etc. Thank you for watching.
Hello friends, good morning ma'am. Today our topic is friction. Now first of all the question arises, what is friction? The force that opposes the relative motion between two surfaces is called friction. How the friction is caused? Friction is caused by the irregularities on two surfaces in contact. There are three types of friction: static, sliding, and rolling friction. There is one more type of friction, fluid friction, which I will tell you further. Static friction. The force required to overcome friction on object is known as static friction. For example, if a person is moving a couch from one room to another room. This is an example of static friction. Sliding friction. When an object slides over another in a move is sliding friction. For example, if there is any heavy material, so you can put it on a sliding surface so that it will be easy for you to carry it. This friction can help you to put heavy objects easily. Rolling friction. When a body rolls over another body in move is rolling friction. Now, the most major example of rolling friction is transportation. As you have seen, as you have seen, there are tires of cars, tires of truck that helps you to drive. Now, how the tires of trucks and cars help you to drive? Why they not lose their balance? Because the tires have rubber on them, which prepares a good grip between the two surfaces. Now I am going to tell you about some factors about friction. Factors that affect the friction. Friction depends on nature of surfaces. Friction is more between rough surface and less in smooth. So
Hello.
Continue.
Topic is chapter 12, friction. Topics to be covered. Friction, a friend or a foe. Advantages of friction, disadvantages of friction, ways to increase friction, and ways to decrease friction. Friction, a friend or a foe. Friction is as important as water and as dangerous as fire. Friction is just as microorganisms. Friction helps us a lot in our day-to-day life. I'm just able to write because of friction between my hand and keyboard. Friction force causes a lot of losses in general upkeep and wear and tear of machinery. Hence, friction is a necessary evil. Advantages of friction. Let's start by taking an example of our day-to-day life. Have you ever thought what makes you walk? There is something between your foot and the ground that makes you walk. Yes, that is friction. We all know to write, but what it's between a pen and a paper to make us write? Yes, it's again a friction. Cutting with a knife and a scissor. It's very important part of our day-to-day life. So do you use friction? I think do you use scissors? Yes, I think you must have used once in your life. So when you use a scissor or a knife, the friction between scissor and the knife helps you to cut it and makes you cut it. Disadvantages of friction. Let's start by taking an example. You must have seen someone slipping on a banana peel. As I told you, friction is necessary for walking. So when we step on a banana peel, it reduces friction. When our feet are on the peel, so we slip on it. It is a disadvantage for us because it can harm us. Let's do a activity. Is there any eraser around you? If yes, take a eraser and take any kind of surface and rub eraser on it for some time. And after that, feel the front of that eraser. It must be hot. Why? Because there is friction between the eraser and the book. But this is not advantage. This causes wastage of heat, and this is a big disadvantage for nowadays. Have you ever seen someone sliding a heavy box? Personally, I have seen many times. Also, sometimes a single box takes 2 to 3 persons to slide. It is because friction opposes the motion, so it utilizes so much energy. Ways to increase friction. You must have seen that the soles are. You must have seen the brakes shoes in automobiles are used to increase friction. When the brakes are applied, the brake shoes arrest the motion of the rotating wheel or drum or a disc due to friction. This stops the wheel. You must have seen the soles of our shoes is grooved, means here the
Heel part of our shoes is bit higher than the front part. It makes better grip because back part get more space. Ways to decrease friction. Plain carom is interesting, but not without powder. Why? Because powdering carom surface have so many, without powder, carom surface has so many irregularities, so it is difficult for striker to move. So players sprinkle boric acid powder on the board to reduce the friction between striker and the board. The moving parts of the friction are coated with a layer of grease or oil. This covers the irregularities in the surfaces of the moving parts and makes them smooth. This helps in minimizing the friction between the moving parts and prolongs the life of the machine. However, it is not suggested to use lubricants in some machines, so it will lead to too much friction.